we all went through it. People died, it was bad. They had to take care of the sick, it was not easy. So there was a struggle. Then when we see that we looked at the economic part of it, people were exploited. When we look at the streets, the people who are selling masks, I think there was a youth. Because it was them now, it was time to go and look for food. The father has been looking for it, but the father has no job, they've lost. What do we do? These children were forced to go on the streets. The girls were doing the petty kind of work, so they would put food on the table. People lacked accommodation, landlords chased away people, and the environment we are in, most of us are not landlords. These children are either renting or something is happening. No one, mostly that community, no one owns a house there. For 2 years, the caretakers are not working. No, nothing. People got stuck. The food, there is nothing to eat. School, sometimes we appreciate school, and I think we thank the government for opening the schools once again. The meals the children take at school are not to be taken for granted. There is lunch. A child is assured of lunch. A lunch can take them to the next lunch. But this time, they were home and there was no food. Clothes, the uniform these children wear. You know you have one pair of uniform, you wear it Monday to Friday, and you survive, and you're protected. No one is pinpointing. But this time it came, it is a whole of 2 years, and you have nothing to wear.
The challenges youth have been going through, brought by COVID, have been cutting across. And we don't work in isolation as a kingdom. Unemployment coming from the downsizing, the price fluctuations that has affected the youth in our business, total lockdown that affected the youth in the informal sector, those doing casual work, all of us were affected. So, what are we trying to do as a kingdom so that the youth can be revived from such kind of times they are facing? First and foremost, we are attracting partners to work with as a kingdom. As I speak now, we are part of Young Africa Works program, and Protea Hotel, where we are seated, is our lead farm. I have mobilized around 500 youth around Wakiso, Kampala, and Mukono to be trained in different skills: shoemaking, tailoring, foods and beverage, including outside catering and bakery. I have realized as a mobilizer that very many youth have an outcry of acquiring skills. Previously, youth thought having a paper was enough, but COVID hit us for 2 years, and the only way you could survive is having a skill that you can work home, you can bake and sell your cake and earn a living.
1,000 students who then are all above 18, but then still none of them makes 30. Or if there are those that make 30, they are very few. So as I sit here, I'm speaking for 40,000 youth. That today when we sit down to contemplate on the issues, that what happened before COVID, during and after, we reflect on the challenges that continue to affect us as the youth. When we sit down to talk about unemployment, it starts to become a song that everyone has heard and gotten tired of. And then maybe they start to think that we the youth are not being innovative enough to get jobs. But then what happens when we've been trained that our future is only in education, and then we wake up one day and these schools are closed for 2 years? I'm doing a course that may be supposed to last me 3 years, and I was very sure at the end of those 3 years I'm going to be working somewhere, I'm going to find a future, but then it's all shattered. That we are allowed to dream, but you can only dream at a specific time of the day, which is at night as you sleep. But when you wake up, live within what is provided, live within what is there. So we as the youth are saying, can we be allowed to dream and then realize those dreams? Are there opportunities that allow me to explore what I actually am? Beyond the education, beyond the classes I attend, beyond the pharmacy degree I have I been explored to know what more do I have to offer? Have we taken into account that other side? we are talking challenges. When we talk about representation, it's rather sad that recently I had an interview and I told this young gentleman, do you know that up to now, the youth are regarded as a special interest group? A group of people that makes about 78% of your population is still a special interest group. Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk representation of who we are as the youth, who we are as the young people. That times have changed, things have changed, but who is representing us? Who is representing our cries? While we sit down and cry, who is there to represent us? Who speaks for us when it goes to the people that are making policies? Can we go beyond sitting in conferences and coming up with solutions for the youth? Can we go down to these youth and ask them, what are you good at? What can you do? When you bring programs and we are negative towards them, have you wondered why? Yes, there is politicking, but then, did you know what I was interested in before you made me a sewing machine? Did you know what I can do before you went ahead to force me into agriculture? Did you know that at our home we don't have the land where I can practice that agriculture that you're teaching me? What am I saying? Let us get solutions from the people that are being affected. I'm one person that is interested in teenage pregnancies. But tomorrow when I want to do something, I'll go down to Katanga and talk to those girls and find out if they're having issues with menstrual health. What then do they think can be done? Before I buy them sanitary towels, do I know what exactly would work for them? So I would advocate that we go beyond sitting down. I want to appreciate the people that were in charge of this, because I feel proud to sit at this panel and speak for the people that are below 25, but still need to be heard. When we are asked if their interventions are working, but we don't even know what interventions are being put there. It is different to have something on paper, and it is different to have it actually being implemented. I want to say that while the schools were opened and then were allowed back, was there some psychosocial preparation for us as the youth? Because we started to feel useless, I must be honest with you. While we sat down in our homes, we felt so useless. I would wake up in the morning and I've done my senior 6, I'm in my second year doing pharmacy, but I can't offer anything. There is nothing I'm doing for me. There is nothing I'm doing to grow myself. And that was basically because I was brought up to believe that whatever I want to become is going to come after school. People have dropped out of school. Are there interventions that have been put forward to hold those that have dropped out? What then is being done for that other group that could not keep up pace with the rest? I would hope that as we go forward, let us teach the youth, let us nurture them. Let us learn to make research, let us have these youth involved. For me, it is useless to come up with interventions and different things without having inclusivity. Inclusivity is so important. That as we sit here, we have people representing those with disabilities, people representing Uganda, people representing people that have not yet joined the university. This is what we call inclusivity. But is it employed when we are coming up with interventions? I think that is something that we need to look into. Can we build trust among these?
Maybe it's just a matter of discussion. My name is Crispin Mutelimba. I work with Panelists Uganda. I'm also a member of the National Youth Advocacy Platform. I want to thank the Partnership for Africa, African Social. I'll start by maybe looking at who a young person or a youth is in Uganda. According to the National Youth Council that was passed in 1993, a youth is between the ages of 18 to 30 years. And also that one is reflected in the National Youth Policy of Uganda that was passed in 2001 and revised in 2016. But also at the same time, for purposes of programming, we have the National Coordination Mechanism for Youth Programs that was passed in May 2001, that is last year, by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, that describes a young person this time around, a young person, as the person between the ages of 15 to 30, for purposes of programming. Like matter as being a mismatch between our education system and the jobs that are available, and this makes youth unemployable. There is also the poor and negative mindset, attitude for the youth. Projects and initiatives like the Youth Capital Venture Fund, the Youth Livelihood Program, the punishment model of late that are aimed at fighting youth unemployment. Government has also passed a number of laws, and the latest one being...
Because when you speak to them, either we don't understand them or they don't understand us. When they speak the way you were speaking, and you fear to talk again. So, and the gap between us, the elders, and our youth is widening. I think we live in two different worlds. For us to live in another world, in my understanding, then the youth also live in their own world. So that if we speak, they don't listen, they don't want to hear. I don't know why. Maybe that would be something you need to tell us. Do we live in another world that don't understand us? Do we speak another language that is difficult to understand? Or do we need